Going on, everybody over there on the YouTube? So today we are doing something a little bit different, a little bit of baseball content, since today is the day that most players and teams break camp. So today, bringing in my boy JasonKage, we're gonna do a players draft with the only stat that matters is home runs. Actually, I take that back. Home runs is not the only stat that matters, but that's the theme of the game. So the rules go like this. We're going to have every position, and it's going to be left field, center field, right field, not just three outfielders. Once you draft a player from a certain team, nobody on that team is then eligible going forward. So as you're about to see in this video with my first pick, as soon as I pick Mookie Betts, that means Ohtani is no longer eligible. That means Freddie Freeman's no longer eligible. Max Muncy, and any other Dodgers you can think of, they're no longer eligible. So here we go. All right, so there's, just to prove on chat, heads and tails. So it's not a double-sided quarter. All right. How would you like to pick it? Heads or tails?
You know, for the Super Bowl, it was always heads, so I'm going tails.
All right, I'm going to flip it on my desk. All right, it is heads.
No, that hurts.
Here, what's gonna hurt is this is my first pick.
Great.
I got my little Excel spreadsheet up on the screen with the first pick on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
Are you sure? I'm going with Mookie Betts.
Yep, that's who I thought.
Okay, since he's moving to second base, man.
Base, yep.
I was like,
so we both overall had the same number one pick idea.
what's up, Hoff?
So that is very annoying. Let me make sure I get every Dodger off my list.
Yeah, I got my little cheat sheet over here. I got to start crossing off stuff. How you doing, Hoff? Are you feeling better? All right, so.
Oh, where do I want to go from here since you did that to me?
He's like, I said, like, literally, you can't really predict anything because one pick and it screws everything up.
Yes.
Just trying to survive, Hoff. I feel you, man. I'm there too.
I got to be safe and go ahead and take Trout so you don't get that combo.
Okay, so he got Trout.
Yeah. Center field.
All right, so write that down.
Not that there was anyone else on the Angels to really go for.
Oh, I mean, maybe their catcher. Oh, I think I wrote him on my short list. Logan O'Hoppe.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, I think there's enough catchers you can choose from any team for multiple teams, though.
Shaw, when am I getting drafted? Well, sir, if you make it to the big leagues, I will definitely draft you. All right. My next pick. On the Atlanta Braves. Go with Olsen.
Yeah. I don't think that actually hurts my list at all.
I spell it right. That's enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did not have a single Brave on my list because I figured you would do that very early.
What's up, Nato? I mean, you got Cunha, Alex Riley, Ozuna. Oh, yeah. So, like, I'm like very kind of defensive picks almost right now.
Yeah, Betts and Olsen were like the first two people I expected you to get and all that.
Damn, you got it in my head pretty easy then.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Ozzy Albies too.
It was still a little difficult to get into your head and all that, but I think I really want to mess with you some more and take Arenado.
Arenado, all right. There's NATO's boy right there. Been a crazy day in KC today. Why? What's going on in KC?
Take your Cardinals out of here.
Yep, Cardinals are now gone. That off. My favorite Cardinals pick for this actually would have been Nolan Gorman.
Ooh, yeah.
So that was like one of those where I was like,
list as well.
I was like, take Mookie. I can't take Nolan.
Where's Gorman at on?
He's second base. He might play some DH as well. He might split in between. I'm curious. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but like on this list, because he should be. Yeah, okay. He's got on Yahoo or whatever. He's second base, third base, but I don't. I guess he came up with
Oh,
third baseman, but
my Yahoo shows him as DH second base,
I mean, I'd
but
allow
he's
it because
second on.
he DH'd in second base.
Yeah,
Pretty much, that's all he played last year. So,
yeah, it shows him second on the depth chart at second base. So
did they put it? I'm assuming behind Donovan, maybe since he's
yes,
come
beyond
back.
Donovan, but they still have Gorman as first DH. So
Yeah. All right. Now's where I'm like. I guess my I only went 3 deep on my game plan, so I was like, my game plan's going according to plan, but now's where I have the puzzle piece that I'm not sure of.
yeah,
All right, so you went center field and third base.
yeah. Surprisingly, we haven't matched up yet. I think I got all my teams.
I actually thought well, actually I'll say it after my next pick. What I was thinking might have went
Okay.
down. All right, I'm going to go the newly acquired left fielder for the New York Yankees, Juan Soto. See, I thought Judge might have been like a first or second pick. This draft is for
Anybody but a
home
Yankee.
runs only.
Anybody but a Yankee.
No Yankees for you?
No.
Well, I guess that worked out for me then.
I avoided that depth chart with all my heart.
Because I was like, well, Rizzo be a decent pick, maybe. You got Gleyber Torres at
Rizzo
second.
But I did have someone from the other
Stanton.
New York team.
Ooh, the Mets.
Give me Pete Alonso.
Alonso, baby.
Please and thank you.
All right, yeah, I was thinking about the Mets. Catcher is a tough position. It is, yeah. I think I got a couple of hidden ones up my sleeve though, Nada. But yeah, we got for those just tuning in, I got a couple of draft ideas. So this is the first one, I guess, in the series. So I brought on Jason. So this draft is a home run only draft. So total at the end of the year. And yeah, I'll have this saved and everything. And as soon as we draft a player on a certain team, that team is no longer eligible. So you can have your players, but then there's, you have your offensive strategy. And then maybe like, for me, I have a little bit of defensive strategy as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like the fact that I went with bets with my first pick, that ruled out Ohtani, that ruled out Freeman. So if you guys are like, how did you not pick Ohtani? That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were both in the same mindset with that.
All right. So the fact that you picked Alonso, that means Lindor is off the board.
Yep.
Who, is arguably one of the top shortstops out there.
Yep. Another defensive style move as well.
Mm-hmm. We both got our first base. Soto at Yankee Stadium with short right fields. Oh, I know. I think you could chalk in an easy 30-35 for Soto. But I'm hoping for like maybe a 40 in that ballpark. But yeah, I'm excited about that pick. All right. Like some of these two is like, I'd like that pick, but you already got the position. Gotta worry about that. All right, I think I'm going to do this. Because I don't think... There's not a lot of options that I really like. This year, at least. Shortstop position. What's his face? Mr. Witt signing the long contract extension to become the face of the franchise.
No.
Bobby Witt.
Dang.
Junior, I believe. Is it junior? Is he a junior? So to see a lot of pitches out of the plate.
Yeah.
Hope he can stay healthy. So the guy that I guess he's still on the board. I don't want to say it yet, but
I'm looking over at my list, trying to think.
The only thing that like he ruins to me, at least on that team, is that Salvi is no longer eligible.
Yeah, I had both Salvi and Witt, depending on what happened.
Bobby Witt is a stud, good pick. Yeah, I was like, brilliant pick. Thank you. I'll take a bow.
Yeah, there's 3 people I'm trying to choose from right now.
potentially for my MLB show players out there, potentially on the cover next year, I believe. I think it could happen.
There's so much talent on this team, but they love to choke. Still, give me George Springer.
George Springer. Little right field action?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So there goes a lot of Blue Jays then.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so George Springer. All right, so
I couldn't remember if Guerrero Jr.'s been steadily first base or has transitioned over to DH.
Mostly first, but I'd probably allow DH too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So
NATO, curious pick there. All right.
It is a curious one, but
Boom, boom, boom,
I
boom,
like
boom.
Springer.
So. I like him a lot as a talent, but I know with his age and such, he's kind of had those issues with like staying healthy. So like, there's certain players that like, same with Trout. I'm like Trout was like, oh, I might be able to get him later just because like sleep on him with the injury. Hope you took him.
Yeah, no, I wasn't risking it. This would be if I didn't jump on it. This would be the year he fully stayed healthy. And
I just realized too. Alvarez is off the block.
Yep.
The catcher, that is. NATO, oh my God, catcher, I know a perfect guy. Shh. Actually, I don't know if you're reading chat or not. So yeah,
I am.
Okay. I'm looking at going through all my list again, checking off stuff.
Oh, you're fine. I'm doing that as well.
Making sure
I try
that
to get one person from each team on a list.
Me too, and like I also am like I don't want to lock myself for a future pick that I'm thinking about. But I guess after we're done, we'll kind of like I guess talk about our picks and our thought process.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm gonna get this one out of the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Luis Robert at short or at center field for the White Sox.
Okay.
The only thing I'm worried about him is the fact that like they're kind of not competing as much.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets like too aggressive and starts swinging at everything. We got 2 words for ya. Oh yeah. Welcome in, tight spot.
And I'll say I had Andrew Vaughn as a backup for first base.
Yeah, I had him on my list too. The fact that he was a White Sox, I was like, would be a.
Yeah.
And then,
fun fact, I actually am friends with someone who's cousins with him.
Really?
College. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. So
I guess Jimenez was another one I had for like the possible DH.
Oh yeah, DH. I'm very nervous about.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the DH, but I have a lot of people I feel like on the list.
Yeah. Catcher I'm worried about as well.
Yeah. I didn't really know who I really wanted to target.
You know what? Because I am nervous with this, I'm gonna relieve some pressure. Give me Simeon, second base, Texas.
Nice. That was one of those where I liked him, but I liked some of
well, you took
some
my
of the
number
other
one second baseman choice.
Yeah, I think the only risk with him was like, all right, well, if it goes Seager at short, then you can't get Simeon or like Adoldis Garcia and right.
Yeah.
Can't remember
who at catcher.
Yeah, Heim. So I got to cross him off. I was like, that's kind of one of those like, all right, well, which one of those do I want best?
Yeah, I think I have because I had 4 catchers, and I think whichever one I get, I'll be okay with. So it's just which one do I don't want you to have?
Yeah. I think I got to do it. I think I'm going to go with catcher right here.
All right.
I'm going to go with the big dumper himself, Cal Raleigh. On the Mariners.
That was one I was worried about you taking.
I feel like there's not a lot of thump there right now. Like there's a lot of kind of good catchers, or
Yeah, there's good contact hitters. There's not many with all that power.
like
Well,
I feel like
tight
you can get a
spot.
solid like 20, but like
I swear, tight spot's reading my mind, my list, something
Adley.
because
Like I like Adley.
Rich,
He's probably one of the best catchers, if not the best catcher. But um, I feel like he's like a 20 to 25, and I mean, like I said, good pick. But
but I
like
mean,
Raleigh, give me 30, 35 maybe. We're just worried about home runs here.
yeah. Speaking of home runs, this person kind of made a big impact when he showed up into the league. Almost became the face of the young guns. Give me De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh yeah,
All right, so I'm
from Cincinnati.
40.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I'm curious to see how the Reds kind of utilize all their infielders and where they actually put them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so Reds are off the board.
Not
I
like
didn't
there was
even.
many options there.
I don't even know if I put him on because I was like, I don't know. He's got so much ability and talent,
Yeah.
but I feel like he's gonna be such a boomer bust that he's gonna be too frustrating if I draft him.
Yeah, I'm taking some risk with some of my picks,
Yeah, I'm like
but
I'm comfortable with my picks right now because there are some on the list where I was like, man, that could be a
I
huge
don't.
hit or that could be a total bust.
Yeah, I like this little gamble I'm trying to play here.
Mm-mm-mm-mm. Cross that one off. Cross that one off. All right, chat. What do you guys think? Should I go risky or should I go safe here? I'm gonna ask chat. See what they say. I think I got a risky one for ooh, I got a actually no, I think I know what I'm gonna do. In right field
Oh boy.
for the San Diego Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
I got a lot of sons on my team. I think you can afford a risk.
Yeah, he can.
All right.
I'm playing very middle ground here with everything.
I'm feeling very happy with my team right now.
Yeah, I got mixed feelings with mine. Some wish I made more of a gamble and all that. Um, Let me double check a roster real quick.
The shadow's gone.
Where is this team's roster? Because I want to make sure I have this right.
I like your team very much. Thank you, Nato. I guess after he picks his catcher, you can tell me that catcher pick that you were thinking of. And I'll tell you, if I agree
Yeah, I
with you
feel
or not.
confident about. Let's see, what you got left? Third base. Oh, so I.
Third base DH.
Well, let me think.
I think if I'm reading your mind, Nato, and I think I am. I think I know who you're thinking.
There's a lot of them out there, though. Oh, hold up. Let me update my list. I just
No, you
realized that.
aren't. I don't even want to tease it because I think he'll be like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and then he'll pick it.
When looking at Yahoo's depth chart, it makes me question a couple decisions I had
Uh oh.
written out.
Oh okay.
So,
I'm like, which one?
no, I mean, I'm still comfortable with, not really comfortable with who I chose, but like a couple names I have on here is like, well, he might not be getting much playing time as I thought,
Oh okay.
based off what they're saying. But then again, I looked at the official team's rosters today. So I think at DH, I'm going to take Naylor from Cleveland, Josh.
Okay.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Naylor.
Yeah. Well, I know they have two Nailers. Yeah,
You're
Josh
gonna
is
hate me after this
DH.
next pick.
You're picking up a pirate now?
No, no, no.
Okay.
DH for the Houston Astros. Jordan Alvarez.
I forgot he's considered DH, fully. I
Yep.
keep picturing him when he's younger.
Well, that blocks like all the Astros.
Well, I already picked the positions from the Astros, anyways.
What do you mean?
Like the ones where I mainly targeted,
Mm-hmm.
like second base without Tuve, and then
That was before I picked Tatis. I almost went with Tucker, but then I was like, but I get
yeah.
Alvarez a DH. So,
Mm-hmm.
but that
Yeah, you
also
could.
their catcher Diaz, that would be a nice pick. But I was like, man, he.
Yeah,
So I was
I
like,
was
I'm
looking
kind
at
of blocking you on that one.
I was looking at a little younger guys at catcher.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't realize he had like I think 24 home runs last year, and he only like played part time and like DH'd a little. So I was like, oh
yeah.
shit.
But yeah, looking at one roster right now, because there's a young guy on there. I'm interested to see how he does.
I think Naylor was on my like.
I think.
I'm kind of shocked at you right now because I feel like there's a lot of good DHs out there.
Yeah, there are.
I know one of
I
them's not
like to try
signed
and
now.
take risks.
Okay,
I
okay.
like to try and take risks and all that. So that's mainly where some of these are coming from. Trying to see how these young guns do this year.
I try to blur them. Like some I think are safe, some I think could be risky, some could be injury. You know.
Yeah. And left field's definitely one of those tough positions. Like there's a lot of talent there. Which way do I want to go with this? Um, but I think it would be a shame if I didn't pick up a Pittsburgh Pirate. Um, especially the best one on the team, arguably right now.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me Reynolds.
Okay, he was on my list.
Yeah. I'm scared leaving catcher spot open.
So
But
I think you actually the way that this was played, you have a very good safe fallback at catcher, and I'm not even mad about it.
yeah.
And it's crazy. Oh, we'll do it here after I make my next pick. See, I could be an asshole, chat, and draft Hayes from the. Oh, I can now. Never
No,
mind.
you can't.
I was like, if you didn't take Reynolds, I was like, I could be an asshole and take his pirate, but
That's why I waited so long. I was like, it's like, I don't know. Is he gonna try to do this to me?
see, here's where like third base is puzzled for me because there's a lot of guys, but I feel like they could be very intertwined. So like Devers, Beast, love him, but Red Sox didn't really add much.
Yeah.
Like Jose Ramirez always has good years, but like they never give him any protection. Kind of a sleeper guy that I think people are forgetting about is Royce Lewis. Actually, if he could stay healthy, like I think he only played only had like I don't know, like 100 at bats or something, and he had like 8 home runs or something. And then here's one that is kind of maybe a little risky, but also would block you at catcher. If I went with Gunnar Henderson at third base,
Yeah.
and then that would take away Adley.
Is that who you're going with?
I think I'm gonna go with Devers.
Okay.
I hope that because I think Gunnar, like if they do call up Holiday eventually, and they got some other guys too, if they kind of rotate some spots, maybe year two, a little bit of sophomore slump. I'm kind of worried about that. Devers was number one on my list, so
there you go. Yeah.
Devers.
Yeah.
All right, so who's?
I had two catchers left on my list to really try and look at. One of them was Adley.
Yeah, I figured Adley was one.
Yes, he was. And then I also had Heim at one point, but I'd
Like,
rather take the second
like Simeon.
baseman
Yeah.
safe. Yeah. And then another one, because I kind of like this pickup for Detroit with Carson Kelly, but I feel like I have to go Adley Rutschman.
Okay.
With how young their talent is, I can see him getting
I'm just gonna put Adley
more
because I don't know if I
opportunities.
can
Yeah.
spell his last.
RUT.
I just put Adley R.
All right. Got it
Gunner's
up.
a
So
stud. No on Kelly. No, that's not who he picked. So the thing, my
who'd you pick?
initial reaction to like looking at this,
Yeah.
I am shocked we did not pick a Philly.
I actually was debating on getting Swerver.
Adley was your thought? Okay, I thought you were thinking because I was like Real Muto. He's getting Real Muto, and I had
No.
him so low on my list because I was like, if I take Phillies, it's gonna probably be Schwarber, and then it's gonna
Yep.
be Harper, and then then maybe Real Muto. And I
See,
almost took Harper as my DH because he's like first base DH this year.
and Schwarber is listed as DH of first DH
Yeah, so I
and
was
not
like,
left field.
because I think Schwarber led the league in home runs last year, but I was
Yeah, he
like,
did.
I don't know. For me, guys like that, I'm like, they get super hot and then they get super
Mm-hmm.
cold. Like, I think he's probably safe for like a 30 home runs, but I was like,
I didn't
I
want to
want to.
take that risk for being
Yeah, I'm like,
too
I don't.
cold.
I've never been a big Schwarber guy, so.
Yeah.
But
I
I
thought
was.
about Turner at shortstop
Yeah, Trey Turner would have been a
because
good
he's
one
sneaky
too.
power. He has sneaky power.
Turner's one of those like I love him in fantasy, but this is it's a different type of draft, you know.
Yep.
And then like yeah, like NATO, like you could put him at first base. That's his primary, but I like your Alonso and I like Olsen, and
Yeah. Oh,
especially in a home run
you
draft. Like I think they're
you picking
better.
Olsen really made me feel confident of picking Alonso.
Yeah, for the Mets, it was Alonso, Lindor, and then Alvarez at catcher, and then everyone else I was
Yeah.
like, probably not that exciting. So
Yeah. I had plenty of decent backups for first baseman, so I wasn't too worried if I didn't get Alonso right away. But with how you were picking, I was like, I need to take the Mets off the board, and first baseman is a beautiful spot to have. So let's get it.
another spot that, or another, I guess, team that, if you go based on last year's numbers, the Rays. We didn't pick any Rays.
I had Low on my list. Low, Lau, however you pronounce it. I
Oh,
know
at second
people
base.
pronounce it. Yeah.
I didn't even have him on my list. My lord. Yeah, like Paredes, I think had like 30 plus home
Yeah.
runs.
Oh yeah.
Diaz, I think had like 28 to 30 home runs. Um, Rose, you have Rosie there in left field too. For that spot, I was like, left field not the sexiest. You kind of are top heavy, and I ended up taking like
Mm-hmm.
two of those, like three or four that are top heavy. But yeah, I didn't go anything
Yeah.
there. All right, so I'm gonna allow you to break down your roster if you want and tell me favorite picks, game
I
plan.
mean, definitely stopping you from having a Cardinal was my biggest goal going into this. Snubbing you of your favorite team. I was really hoping to kind of leave a spot where you might have to take a Cub just because of that rivalry.
No,
Um,
no shot. I don't think a Cub ever. I don't. Did I put a single Cub on my list? I don't think I did.
Corbin Carroll did cross my mind. I was just afraid with how the Diamondbacks might try and play him, might focus more on his contact than power.
I think like he was on my list and he was I think number 4 for my left fielders. But
He was third on mine.
for for him again, he'd be a better just regular fantasy player because he's going to get you average, he's going to get you steals and everything like that.
Yeah.
But for just a home run draft, I think he'll be good for 20. If he has any type of sophomore slump, if they adjust or whatever, he'd be good for 20. But I want like 30 in every single position I'm looking at. That's kind of what my safe fallback line is for positions. Like I want 30 home runs from each position. So if one or two fails or gets hurt, okay, well the other ones can hopefully get me 35, 40 maybe. So yeah, continue.
But yeah, no, I wanted to try and sprinkle in some younger guys and all that into my roster instead of. So that's where De La Cruz came from and all that. I say younger, I mean my age. So
Baseball age, baseball
yeah,
younger. Yeah.
yeah, 26 around that age, a little older.
I know for you, for Simeon, I didn't realize this until I think it was the playoffs when they did some stat where they had said like, yeah, dude's played like every single game for like the last 3 years. I think he missed like 1 or 2 games. And I was like, wow, I
Hmm.
didn't realize he was that durable.
Yeah, that's why I had him higher on my list.
Anything else you would like to add about your draft strategy or your roster?
I mean, I really didn't have a strategy. It's just like let's get a couple guys from most of the teams and all that. Avoid the Yankees because I don't like the Yankees. I would never like the Yankees. Uh, and then there is some favoritism happening with a couple of these. I saw Trout in person when he was in Double A, so he was really high on my list. Granted, there was always that hype around him, but injuries made me worry. Um, yeah, no, I was just trying to cover the board and all that. Right field, I didn't feel the strongest about. I figured take the gamble with Springer, see if some of his younger self can come out this season.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, I mean, I feel like he's a solid 25 guy for sure. But,
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm glad that they've moved him to right field, and I think they'll throw him into DH as well. It just seems like every year he kind of misses like maybe a month in total. So, like, yeah, like
yeah,
if I look at your squad, I'm like, all right, you got durability in Simeon, Trout, maybe injuries history, Springer injury history. Arenado's been pretty durable. Alonso, I feel like, has been pretty
no.
durable. Um, I don't know about your Reynolds, but I knew you would take a Pirates pick.
Well, yeah, it was either
So,
Reynolds or McCutcheon, but with McCutcheon's age, I was like, I really
no.
because Davis wasn't showing up as right field. If Davis was showing up as right field, I probably would have taken him there.
I think he did on the YouTube, or on YouTube, on the Yahoo.
On Yahoo, no, it shows him at catcher
Hold
because
on.
I originally had him at right field. On the team side, it shows him playing both catcher and right field in a heavy catcher area because you're splitting time with Rodriguez.
Maybe I saw it on MLB or
Davis.
something. I was like, God, I saw him. No, here, on or at least on the list I'm looking at, the free ranking.
I was,
Henry Davis, right field.
well, shit.
He's
Oh
like,
well.
we're doing this over.
No, no, I'll just be upset. It's fine. Because I clicked onto the Pirates page on Yahoo and looked at their depth chart there.
When you looked at the like when you made your list or you looked at the rosters, what position did you like the best, and which area did you like the least?
Definitely right field. I like the least after finding out Davis wasn't being considered what I saw.
Hmm.
But that's why I kind of jumped on that quick. Like I don't really have many good options, but Toronto has a lot of star power there that could hit 25 to 30 home runs. So let's take that off the board.
See, I know when I started making my list, catcher obviously was like not excited for.
Yeah.
Left field, I felt like was very top heavy. Shortstop, I was like, man, there's a lot of good players there, but like then they block other players on the
Teams.
same
Yeah.
team. So I was like, it's like intriguing but also upsetting. So like I basically had my tier. So I was like, all right, the top tier was like, all right, these are the best players on their team, not really any
Hmm.
issues. And then the second tier underneath them was like good players, be a nice pick, but it's gonna block you at other. And I wanted that like open availability.
Yeah.
NATO says, imagine doing this draft based on players' OPS.
OPS.
Ooh, I mean, if
Rather.
we could do something like that in the future. I'm down if you guys
Yeah.
want to send me some ideas. You know, I love doing drafts.
Oh yeah,
But
this stuff's fun.
yeah, my game plan going in was, well, I really only like for like top picks at least at second base. I was like, I like Betts and I like Simeon, but
Yep.
And like I was like, Seager would be, is probably the best shortstop, but he's got, I can't remember what injury it is, but he's got some, so he might be a little
Yeah,
slow to start. And I was like, if he has a slow first month or whatever, that might be just enough to not have him like be the top shortstop in home run.
hmm
I know Lindor, I feel like he's had like a rough first season with the Mets, but then last year I think he had like 33 home runs, which I thought was kind of shocking. But I was like,
I agree.
for his size and the amount of I can't remember how old he is, but I feel like he's in his 30s now. I was like, maybe age starts to get him a little bit, like maybe a nagging injury here or there, and suddenly he's down to
Yeah,
like 20. So for me, I was like, all right, I want to get Betts because he's a stud and he'll be arguably the best at second, and then it also blocks, Freeman, Otani,
yeah.
Muncy. So I was
Betts was
like,
the only Dodger. Well, I had Otani at first, but because of his elbow injury, I was I was really scared something's going to happen to aggravate that, a wild pitch or maybe even a target. Who knows? Depends on if a certain pitcher comes back into the league or not.
um, I was just also like, so in terms of like, when I actually sat down and looked at the DH spot, I realized I was like, man, there's more people on there that I like than I realized. Like my list was Otani, Ozuna, Soler, which finally signed. Because I kind of put
Yeah,
stars next to guys. I was like, well, if they're not signed, they don't
like
count.
let's go for it. Yeah,
So I was like, all right, JD Martinez would be a good pick late, but like not signed. Then I was like,
yeah.
Alvarez, okay, yeah, that's who I ended up getting. So I was like, Alvarez, but
hmm
again, it was one of those. If you get him, he blocks Tucker, which I said earlier. I was like, do I go for a safe pick? Um, but yeah, like Tucker was there, Altuve was there, but like I had bet, so I didn't have to worry about it by then.
Yeah,
Harper was one of those that I thought we were gonna forget about, and I think maybe we kind of did, but at the same time I was like, someone's gonna take Schwarber, or someone's gonna take Realmuto, or
yeah,
or Turner, and then like like DH was always like my last kind of pick. Like I thought I could get somebody good in the last 2 or 3 rounds for this,
yeah.
and
And I
then
kind of worried about with the teams that had like a real lot of talent hitting home runs because I was like, this could be the year one of these guys slips up and the other picks up, and you pick the wrong one.
mhm. And then
So
like again injury history, and I had Stanton for the. Did we even pick a Yankee?
you
Oh, I got
did, yeah.
Soto.
You picked
Soto.
Soto, yeah.
So like
I
Stanton,
said anybody but a Yankee.
yeah, and then which I didn't realize you had a Yankee hate, so I was like, oh, I could have maybe waited on that pick, but oh well.
Oh yeah,
Soto's gonna be a beast. I feel like. Um,
yeah. He has to.
Eloy for the White Sox. I thought he'd be a good pick. Garver, he signed with the Mariners, so I was like, again, like I was like, there's not a
Yeah,
lot of. I was like, but if I get Garver, can't get Big Dumper. I mean, I guess
yeah.
Garver could like he's gonna probably split between DH and catcher, but like I don't want to block that. So Buxton, Buxton could have been a nice
Buxton at
pick.
DH. Yep, he was on my list.
Jock
That's
Peterson for the D-backs
what
now.
he signed with the D-backs. Okay,
Yeah, and I think he's gonna be like a 3, 4, or 5 spot because they don't, they kind of have
they
Marte
don't.
and
Yeah,
they have Carroll in the
Carroll in
1-2
there.
spot, but they don't really have like any other stuff. I think they traded for Suarez, but again, it was like they don't really have that. So like Jock's gonna be
Yeah,
sliding into a nice little spot there. Um, Buxton is made of glass. He is. That's why it's a risky
yeah.
pick.
That's why we try to avoid him.
And then the other two that I had that I was like, if all hell breaks loose and I absolutely can't get any of these guys, I put Joey Meneses on the Nats, and then I put Brett Rooker
Uh,
on the Athletics.
I
But I
had
was like,
Meneses. I think I also had Worker on the A's. I try
yeah,
to have one person from each team on my list.
yeah. I tried like a couple of spots. I was like, some of these teams are pretty shitty or don't have like great, I guess, selections
Yeah.
for like this type of draft. But
Oh
I
yeah.
was,
Only reason why Kelly was on my list with Detroit, I was like, in case something crazy happens.
the only did I think the no, I put 2 Detroit players on mine. It was Torkelson and it was Riley Green.
I
Because
had Torkelson on my list as well.
so
So
yeah, like so my game plan was wanted bets, and then I didn't know again like for chat, you basically have to get in other person's head of who they like or who they, what you think their game plan is. But like,
Yeah.
it's not like this has been a thing for 10 years. There's no like built-in strategy. So I was like, all right, I want bets.
We
And then from
we
there,
were thinking on the same wavelength at first, but the farther we got in, it's like there's no chance we can think.
yeah. So then after that, I was like, all right, I want like upside, but like what's the term that they say where it's like they have a high ceiling or a high floor? So I was like, I want a high floor. So that's kind of why I went with Olsen, and then that also like blocked a bunch of other studs, Riley, Ozuna,
Yeah.
Albies, Acuna. And then after that, I was just like, all right, I wrote down left field. And
I figured your first one would have either been a Dodger or a Brave.
yeah.
And I was really hoping you would slip up with the Dodger, but then you started your little speech. I was like, well, should have thought of a Brave.
Yeah.
That was gonna ruin my system I had in place if I did change.
Yeah, and then I mean from there, then it kind of came down to like, all right, who's available? Who's got the deepest slot that I'm happy with? And for me, like left field, shortstop, and second base were the spots where I was like, to me, they're very top heavy of people that I like. Like even all right, I guess if Chad, I guess might find this funny or humorous. If you look on my list of tiers, I got my number one catcher in Raleigh. Olsen was my number one on my second tier for first baseman because I was like, that's like a defense block. I got my number one second baseman. I got my number one third baseman. I got my number one shortstop. I got my number two left fielder. I got my number one center fielder. And I got my seventh right fielder. And then I didn't really rank my DHs. I just put names down. But I got Alvarez as well. So, like, on my little list, if chat can, I got most of the guys I was kind of aiming for. So, like, I'm very happy with my roster.
I think we both hit what we're reaching for. I was more safe in some spots than you were. But like Adley was number 2 on my list. You got my number 1.
Yeah, I think Raleigh could be a huge boomer bust. Like I don't know if he's actually going to get another 30 home run season. But I think he'd be a safer 20 as long as he doesn't get injured. And I know that they've actually like they traded for Polanco. I think they signed somebody else. So like I think their lineup's starting to get like a little bit more of a depth.
Yeah.
So I'm like maybe he'll 2025. For the catcher position, if you can get 20, you should be happy. If you can get 25 and up, you should be pumped.
Yeah, Alonso was my number 1. Simeon was my. He was right there with Betts, right there. It was like if I get Betts off the bat, that's great as a great block. But I was gonna be satisfied if I got Simeon. And then De La Cruz, I want to see how well he does for a full year, and all that. See, without any injuries and all that. Hopefully that will go well. Arenado, because I wanted Alonso. I figured I'll take Arenado over Goldschmidt.
He wanted to block me.
Yes, I did. I really did. Reynolds, I had to pick a pirate on my list. I didn't trust Hayes really. There's some, granted, his bat's great. It's just sometimes with it, he's put in the lineup scares me with all that.
I like Hayes, but I think the more his game is kind of developed, he's becoming more and more of like a contact leadoff type.
Yes, and that's why I didn't want to pick him. It's because I was seeing that trend happen.
And he's not really that big either. I thought like when he was
No.
coming up, and I was like, oh okay, he's gonna be a stud. And then I saw him play, and I was like, oh, he's kind of small. I mean, I like him as a player, but he's not that big.
Oh yeah, Trout. I mean, he's the best player in the league if he stays healthy. Had to take him.
It's funny because the people that I watched this, that I got this idea from, everyone forgot about Trout. Like he was probably like, I don't know how many rounds or whatever this is. What, 9? I think they took him in like the 7th round, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah."
That's crazy.
So like for me,
I also grew up where if anyone famous played in Arkansas for either one of the AA affiliates, they're going to be remembered. for the
Yes.
longest time.
So
So
for me on Trout, I was like, all right, well maybe I'll take him in like the 4th round. Because like, yeah, there's not really any other angel that I like other than the catcher.
yeah,
So I was like, it's not like a defensive move, but I was hoping it's one of those that it's like I like him. He's got, maybe the asterisk because of the injury stuff, but I was like,
hmm
but even if he plays like 3/4 of the season, I think he'll get you like 30 home runs. So
oh yeah, he's definitely gonna get me 25 for sure.
yeah,
So so
NATO if Trout stays healthy, big if.
hey, that's where you gotta take a gamble sometimes.
Yeah, I'll
I
say
feel like
this.
since he doesn't have Otani on his team, I think he might be a little more conservative with base running and all that, just trying to stay a little more healthy.
Hmm.
But I mean, just gonna have to wait and find out. Springer again with that move to right field, and it was more of a defensive move there because I'm just waiting for another one of those Blue Jays to have a breakout year with homers.
You
So
you took I didn't write down the numbers, but like you took Springer what like the 4th or 5th round?
yeah, I took him. I really
Oh.
took him earlier than I wanted to, but we were getting so close to those spots where they have great Blue Jay players. I'm like, I need to do this block to be safe.
I mean, like, I was kind of like as we were drafting, I was like, all right, well, he's got that position, so he's not going to draft that, so I might be able to wait a round or two. And I was
Yeah,
like, Vladdy, I think will be great, but I was
hmm
who I think I had another Blue Jay. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was a catcher, but it was like, well, if I can't get Vladdy, then I'll probably be okay with missing out on the rest because, like, I ended up getting Olsen. Like,
yeah,
all right, I'll survive with that. But
yeah. And then Naylor, I don't know, just something about him looking at everything just kind of stuck. I was like, you know what, I'll take this chance.
oh, duh. Now that I think about it, yeah, you got Naylor before I made my Devers pick. So like, I wouldn't. Jose wasn't even available.
Hmm
That makes me sleep better on that.
There you go.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
because we didn't take Vlad because basically he was first base or DH, and we both had our first basemans, and we both were waiting on our DH spots until later.
DH, yeah,
And then
DH was a
yeah,
lot more flexible.
and then once he took Springer, not available anymore. So that's yeah. So when people see our rosters, it's one of those I got to put an asterisk. Like, hey, once a player was taken from a team, everyone else
Yeah.
on that team is no longer available. That was our home run draft. I hope you enjoyed watching. We will have more MLB coverage, drafts, and stuff going forward. So, do the whole like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. Comment if you like our teams or whose team you like better. Let me know.